Okay, we're here this evening with Larry Dordea, who's the police chief in Hartville, also councilman in Alliance, and the Republican candidate for Stark County Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
And Larry was here tonight to clarify with the Lake Township trustees what his posture would be if he were elected sheriff in view of the various alternatives that might materialize as to what the future of the Uniontown Police Department is going to be. You want to expand at all on your comments to the trustees, Mr. Dordea?
Well, I had heard from other people that there was some confusion about my position. Some thought I was polarized one direction or the other, and I just wanted everybody to understand that my position is very simple. I think all residents of Stark County, be they Lake or any other township, deserve quick, professional, capable police protection. And in order to accomplish that, I'll do whatever I can, whatever needs to be done as sheriff, if I'm elected, of course. But I want, in this particular case, it to be known that whether it is status quo, that is to say that the Lake remains in Uniontown as a police authority and Hartville stays in Hartville as a police authority and the sheriff patrols the rest, then as sheriff, there will be improved services with me as sheriff. And I also want them to understand that if Lake Township goes township-wide, then the sheriff's office would be ultra supportive of that, and they would work with the township and also allow them the use of the Metropolitan Narcotics Unit and the Special Response Team if and when it becomes active and properly trained again. And then if they would want to contract with the Sheriff's Department, that it would be a dollar-for-dollar true contract, not the proposal that I found on the sheriff's website, because that's really pretty vague. And to ask somebody to spend close to $6 million over a several-year period for services, I think you need to iron out the details.
Okay. So you're talking about the proposal by your opponent, Mike McDonald? Is that?
Well, I don't know who wrote the proposal. It's on the sheriff's website.
Okay.
But somebody over there did. It's just a vague proposal, and it's somewhat redundant in certain areas. So if I was going to write the proposal, it would be actual cost.
I see.
And not something quite as vague as this. And then you'd know what services you're going to get for the dollars you're going to give.
Right. So you're out actively campaigning. How long have you been actively campaigning?
I've been actively campaigning since January 5th when my petitions were approved as a candidate.
So what's the form of campaign take?
Well, I'm in every parade I can be in. I'm doing door-to-door every Saturday morning. I'm doing personal appearances. I'm shaking a lot of hands. I'm trying to tell everybody why I'm the right guy for sheriff.
What kind of questions are you being asked?
Well, there really aren't that many hard questions that are being asked. I look forward to some of the hard questions. But people really want to know about my experience. People want to know why I want to run. People want to know why I would leave a community like Hartville. It seems like I have it pretty well made as a police chief in Hartville. Why would I want to inherit the headaches at the sheriff's office? But, my answer is very simple. I seek the challenge. I don't seek the glory. I'm not looking for a new title. I'm not looking for new status. I'm looking for the opportunity to go out there and lead the fine officers that are within the sheriff's department and make their situation better so that we can in turn make the Stark County safety situation better.
Well, there are difficulties with the sheriff's department, even with the passage of the half-cent sales tax last November. It's still a tight situation. It's going to remain one. And are you bringing ideas with you in your campaign as to how you can deal with those reduced dollars?
Well, first of all, I don't want to walk in with any preconceived notions, but other than I want to review every policy and procedure. I want to read every contract. I want to understand every rule and regulation. I want to understand every operational methodology that they have. I want to bring efficiency. I've done that in both police departments that I've worked in so far. I spent 30 years in Alliance. I was their police chief for nearly 10 years. I've worked with tight budgets. And even during tight budgets, I've dramatically led a reduction in crime, an dramatic increase in technology, and a true boost in morale and community trust. And literally, I did that in Hartville as well, and I'm doing it in Hartville. So that's what I would bring to the sheriff's office. You know, an enthusiasm, a resourcefulness, a creativity, a dramatic improvement in the efficiency of the operation.
Some people in Stark County question whether or not there needs to be an adjustment in the contract with the unionized part of the sheriff department's operation. And now, will you, when those contracts come up for renewal, will you personally be negotiating them or not?
I would probably be involved in some aspects of the negotiations, but probably not all, because that's not my particular forte.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good road manager. I'm a good people manager. When it comes to the nuts and bolts, I'm sure I would find somebody that would be well versed in that side of the world, because there's a lot of legalese that needs to be done. You know, I'm sure that the unions bring their attorneys to the process. I have some people in mind that would be very good, very experienced with those kind of things if I were elected sheriff and if they were available.
Do you have a point of view at all for yourself as to whether or not there needs to be some adjustments?
I would want to review what the current contracts are, and then I would want to compare them to the industry, to the other counties around us, because that's where the accurate comparison comes. If you want to look at things apples to apples, you can't compare the deputies to anything else. You compare them to other deputies in similar circumstances, in similar facilities, and with similar workloads. That's the fair and appropriate way. But I can tell you this. I can get more done with current resources. You know, there's how you deploy your personnel, how you manage your personnel, has a real effect on the outcomes, on the productivity, and on the morale. And if we can improve efficiency and get more out of an officer, there may not be a need to take anything away from an officer. And I think what you're getting at is in regard to health care, if I remember what your blog was showing.
Health care and pension benefits, you know, the amount that the employee contributes, you know, and one person that has made a big issue out of that is a fellow Republican candidate, Craig Conley. And if he would get elected commissioners, I could see a situation, even though there's a party identity there might be a difference of opinion on where we need to go with that.
Well, and I do respect all opinions, similar party or not. And I also don't have all the answers. I certainly like to listen to what other people say, because that's how you learn. But until that, we cross that bridge. Until, first of all, I get elected sheriff, and until, second of all, I get a chance to review those contracts, understand what they mean, and what the ramifications are for suggesting any changes, I'd be talking way off the top of my head, which I'm not likely to do.
One final question. What do you see as the difference maker as to who the voters of Stark County elect as Stark County Sheriff?
The difference maker? Are you asking me what's the difference between McDonald and I?
Right. That would appeal to voters and translate into votes.
I think that Mike McDonald is a good man, but his career has been somewhat cocooned within the sheriff's department. So he understands one style of law enforcement, which is at the county level. I've managed two different police departments. I've ran two police departments. I've managed budgets. I have negotiated contracts from both sides of the table. I think that the difference between Mike McDonald and I is experience. I think mine is vastly more suited to run a sheriff's department. I think his is probably vastly more suited to run a jail.
Okay. So you would it be fair to summarize that as you have a better versatility?
I think I do, yes.
Thank you.